King John of Canada by Scott Gardiner. What if there was a King of Canada, eh? Would we support him as England does the monarchy? Would he contribute to our cultural identities? Is the idea so absolutely ludicrous that it's not worth exploring? Nevertheless, this is the basis for King John, a political scenario that leaves the reader both puzzled and intrigued. The story begins with the country having a collective fit when the winner of the lottery, yes, the lottery, is revealed to be the chosen ruler. But it turns out, surprisingly, that he has a knack for statesmanship. It seems like a total joke. King John, a bright and charismatic guy from Toronto, knowing exactly what people want. Soon Quebec is gone, while Toronto's surprise bid to leave Canada is averted by shifting his official residence, the new seat of power, to the Toronto waterfront. My biggest issue with King of John of Canada is the voice in which it was written. The narrator is King John's closest advisor, who presents the story in first-person perspective. This is an interesting choice, since it theoretically combines the intimacy of first-person narration with the objectivity of an observer. Unfortunately, author Scott Gardiner pairs this with the past tense, which distances us from the action and the actors. The two devices end up working against each other, and neither lives up to its potential. The result is that we only get a vague idea of who John is. We never know him intimately, and are never sure we understand his motives or what kind of man he is. Our only connection to him is through the narrator. And I'll admit that he does a thorough job of recounting his memories of John's exploits. But there are things he doesn't mention, and those are the things that we most want to find out. So again, we're distanced from the protagonist. This makes it difficult to care about him. It also means that we never really know the narrator either. He's so focused on John that he never tells us about himself. It's a bit like spending a plane ride talking with a perfectly nice but rather uninteresting stranger. The other disadvantage of the narrative is the past tense. We know from the beginning that everything has already happened. It's done. We've come in after the action is over, and we know how it ends. So why bother reading the book? On the upside, Gardiner does give us some lovely prose, clear and concise for the most part, with some wonderful poetic snippets. He uses what is clearly a comprehensive understanding of the Canadian political system to take his story in a very imaginative direction. He also creates a terrific character in Hester Vale. She's the best part of King John of Canada. Smart, ambitious, successful, manipulative when necessary, and confident to the point of arrogance. She never relinquishes her sexuality in exchange for intellectual power, and thus the reader becomes sucked into her complex personality. In the end, though, none of these attributes are enough to save the book. King John of Canada could have been fantastic. I wish it had been. Instead, we're left with a great idea that needed a warmer, more engaging approach to pull it off. A pass.